Okay, so now we have the carcass, and also we are going to be utilizing the wing now, but we're going to be making chicken stock, chicken bouillon, seeing that I am in France and I need to pronounce that correctly. One thing you can do, there's two different ways to make the chicken stock. You can now roast your wing and then your carcass whole, but let's say you don't have a lot of time for that. So what I'm actually going to do is use a pair of scissors. I'm going to cut into the carcass, the bones, and then cut them very, very small. I'll put olive oil then in a casserole dish over about medium heat, and then I'll actually brown every aspect of the bones. Two reasons for this. Number one is for flavor, and then number two, if it does have bacteria, we're cooking all the bacteria out because we're browning every aspect of that. After this, we'll go in with our mirepoix, and what mirepoix is usually a 2:1:1 ratio of onion to carrot to then also celery. So let's dive right in. And you're gonna hear a lot of crunching, by the way. It's good for you. So now I just opened up on one side, as you can tell. I'm gonna go right back down the other side. And now I've just removed the centerpiece. And now we have the chicken carcass. And literally from here, guys, you're gonna cut through, and then we're just gonna go to the other. Going right through the ribs here. All right, same thing for this side. You will hear a little bit of crunch. Now, one thing that I actually do not like is a lot of fat. And so I'm actually going to trim this off, and you might say, well, Burton, chicken fat is pretty good. It is pretty good, but it's not really technically good for stocks. So just trimming that excess off right now. So now I have this. So now I'm just going to go back through my shears, holding the chicken pretty snugly. You try to want to get about even sizes for everything, so then you have an even cooking time. Now I'm going to go straight through the center. Had to push just a little bit hard because it is a thicker bone there. Cut through here. Do that. Same thing for this side. Now go back to the first piece. Go into the last two pieces, and here as well. Alright, got a lot of good pieces, and then the wings, I'm just going to cut right at the joint. Should probably get a knife, but I'll try. There you go here. And again at the joint. But I'm not going to remove the skin on this one. I want the fat to kind of leach out into the pan as we're browning everything. So now the pan has already been warming up. Using the back side of my hand to make sure that it is warm enough to go. I haven't touched the chicken, only with my left hand. So with my right hand, I can do other things. I'm going to go in with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. We're looking at about 2 tablespoons. Put the top back on. And now I'm just going to lightly place the chicken in. Now the reason that I'm using a large casserole dish for this broth is because whenever I'm browning the bones and a little bit of the meat, it is going to splatter. And when it splatters, say in a saucepan, it can splatter on you and potentially has a chance to burn you. So that's one thing that I don't want, especially for myself and for you. Alright, so now chicken stock is now cooking. Showing the size of the dice, of the onions, the carrots, and then also celery. We've done one, and then 2, just like mirepoix dictates. Now we're going to put it in the pan.
Alright, so now what we're going to be doing is letting the vegetables brown. Once they brown, we'll add cold water to the pan and make sure that it does go over the top of everything. and then we will let that simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half before we strain everything.
So now we're just going to add a little bit of water to that. So just skimming off the fat. This is actually the impurities that float to the top, and so that's what you're getting off right now, because you don't want that in the stock. You want a very clean stock. So now all we're doing is just going to be straining out the chicken stock. So always whenever you pour something, pour it back to you. It's very, very hot, so pour it very, very slowly and go down into the pan. One thing we're going to do now is try to hold back some of those veggies so it doesn't splatter on me. And then also the chicken. Get everything down. And now we have our chicken stock that is strained. We're going to let that cool down to room temperature, and then we can save it up to 5 days and use it for any means necessary. To flavor veggies, to flavor chicken, to make a chicken noodle soup.